In the morning, Riz was looking at Fleo, who was still sleeping. When he woke up, Fleo was surprised to see Riz there so early. Riz said it was natural because they were a married couple. Fleo remembered the events of the previous night when Riz asked him to sleep together. Fleo had initially refused and wanted to sleep elsewhere. However, Fleo changed his mind because Riz reminded him that if they did that, Balarasa and the others would be suspicious about their real relationship. So, from that moment on, they had to sleep together. That morning, Riz offered to help Fleo change his clothes. Suddenly, Riz started taking off Fleo's clothes, but at the same time, Balarasa came and opened the door. She was immediately flustered upon seeing what was happening, apologized for the interruption, and quickly closed the door again. Later, in another place, Balarasa was seen facing a large pig-shaped monster. She pointed her sword at the monster, but it didn't care and ran straight towards her. She ran frantically to escape the monster. Blossom tried to help Balarasa by slashing her sword right in front of the monster. However, the monster was not deterred and instead seemed even angrier. Fleo and Riz, who were there, instructed Balano to use her magic. A protective spell activated, shielding Blossom from the monster's attack. Seeing the opportunity, Fleo then ordered Bylori to shoot the monster with her arrows. Bylori fired her arrows, but they did not affect the monster at all. Belano started to run out of energy, making her feel nauseous. The protective spell that shielded Blossom disappeared, and the very angry monster chased them all. Fleo, who was watching from a distance, just smiled, realizing that his task of training them would be challenging. Some time passed, and Balarasa and her friends went to the room they would stay in at the house. Of course, they were all very happy because the room was spacious and the bed was soft. Fleo had bought the house using money from hunting psychobears. Riz then came and informed them that the food was served. But unexpectedly, the food on the dining table was raw meat from the mountain boar she had hunted earlier. According to Riz, the best meat is when it is still raw. Fleo then said he would prefer if the food was cooked. Fleo took the meat and brought it to the kitchen. Balarasa also helped him cook the available ingredients. Finally, the food was cooked and served on the dining table. Blossom and the others were very interested in the dishes. She also asked if the food was made with magic. Fleo replied that he did not use magic because he actually enjoyed cooking. Besides that, Balarasa also helped him. Fleo was impressed with Balarasa's cooking skills. Balarasa then said that she was more skilled at cooking than using a sword. Balarasa felt embarrassed because she came from a fallen royal family and could not afford to hire a cook. Therefore, Balarasa cooked for herself. Blossom, Bylori, and Belano enjoyed the food voraciously. Meanwhile, Riz was still hesitant to eat the food. However, since it was cooked by Fleo, Riz reluctantly tried it. Riz was surprised because the food, both the vegetables and the meat, tasted very delicious. Riz also promised that one day she would cook delicious food for all of them. The next day, Riz and Fleo brought several mountain boars they had hunted to the guild. People there looked at Fleo and Riz with curiosity, wondering how they managed to get such a large haul. Some even looked at them cynically. While their catch was being counted by the guild, Riz told Fleo that she would take a walk around the town. Fleo agreed. They decided to meet back at the guild once they were done with their respective tasks. After Fleo left with a guild employee, Riz opened a flyer. It seemed to be an advertisement for a cooking course. In another room, Fleo was talking to a guild employee. The guild employee said that rumors about Fleo's achievements had spread throughout the city. At that moment, Fleo realized that maybe he had done too much. The guild employee said there was actually an offer for Fleo to become the hero's assistant. If Fleo accepted, the king would grant him the title of honorary knight. Fleo considered the offer because such an opportunity might not come twice. However, as someone from another world, he had no reason to fight the demon lord. Fleo declined the offer. The guild employee was left speechless. Fleo then left the guild. In front of the guild, Riz met him with tattered clothes and a disheveled appearance. Fleo assumed that Riz had just fought against a magic beast. Riz denied it. In her heart, she said that cooking was a formidable opponent. Riz then recalled the earlier events where she was at a cooking course. Riz made many mistakes while peeling tomatoes, pouring flour, and boiling food. She used too much magic, causing the stove and the course place to explode. However, Riz did not give up and was determined to keep trying so she could cook like humans. The scene then shifted to the kingdom, where the hero, surrounded by beautiful women, asked Suda about the rumor of a very strong adventurer from the guild. Suda confirmed it, saying that the adventurer had defeated many magic beasts. Hearing that, the hero was very interested and wanted to make the adventurer his subordinate. Moreover, the king would be very pleased if the hero continued his expedition against the demon lord with that adventurer. Offers to become the hero's subordinate kept coming from the kingdom. A month passed. Fleo continued to reject those offers. Riz even felt annoyed. In the field, Blossom was working on the farmland. Fleo was amazed to see her because the farmland became fertile and productive. Blossom said that she felt uncomfortable just staying at the house without contributing. Fleo saw that Blossom preferred gardening over sword training. Elsewhere, Bilary was seen practicing archery with Riz. Riz suggested that Bilary should aim at live animal targets, not just target boards. But Bilary refused, arguing that the animals were very cute and she couldn't bear to shoot them. Under a tree, Bellano was seen resting due to exhaustion. Fleo came to her, offering a ring he had made, which could store magical energy. Bellano wore it on her middle finger. When Fleo left, Bellano intended to move the ring to her ring finger, but suddenly Riz appeared from behind with a scary face, forbidding Bellano to wear the ring on her ring finger. Bellano then put the ring back on her middle finger. Not far from there, Balirasa screamed because she was attacked by a worm-shaped monster. She asked Fleo for help, but with one attack, Riz managed to kill the monster. Riz scolded Balirasa for acting spoiled to get Fleo's attention. Riz knew that Balirasa should have been able to defeat the monster easily. Then, it was time to eat. Everyone had gathered at the dining table, with delicious dishes prepared by Rice. Fleo praised Rice's ability to cook tasty food. He then asked when Riz learned to cook. Riz replied that while Fleo went to the guild, she attended a cooking course. Riz realized that now she could do many things, unlike before when all she knew was fighting. This made her very happy. Unexpectedly, from within the forest, Uluminas was spying on them. Now, she was certain that the person she saw in the house was indeed Fenris. Uluminas wondered why one of the most feared female warriors in the Dark Army was there, surrounded by humans. But she was even more shocked when Riz suddenly appeared behind her. Then, Riz invited Uluminas into the house and served her tea. Riz then asked Uluminas, knowing that she was the demon lord's right hand, why she was really there since it was unlikely she was just visiting. Uluminas answered that she was tasked with scouting the area and happened to see Fenris. Riz then said that she now lived in the house with her husband. Of course, Uluminas was very surprised. While drinking her tea, Uluminas observed Rice's behavior, which was very different from when she was in the demon lord's army. She also saw how relaxed Fleo was, even though a demon was near him. What puzzled her more was that, even with her combat analysis magic, Uluminas couldn't see Fleo's status at all. Even the demon lord's status could be seen by her. Uluminas then revealed that she was very shocked by the changes in the surrounding area, especially in the Delavesa forest, where she couldn't find a single magic beast. Fleo then mentioned that it might be due to the purification magic he had performed earlier, which must have worked well. Naturally, Uluminas was very shocked to hear this. She couldn't believe that Fleo had used the purification magic. Uluminas then told Riz that her brother, Fangiril, along with his troops, had died because of the purification magic released by Fleo. Of course, Fleo didn't know about this and was very shocked to hear it. Fleo then asked Riz for confirmation, asking if it was true and if Riz knew what didn't tell him. Riz replied that she did know, but she felt that her brother wouldn't want Riz to feel pity over her death. Besides, her brother was one of the Demon Lord's 4 generals, and he was supposed to be very strong, but was helpless in that incident. Riz was very impressed with Fleo's power, which is why she decided to make Fleo her master. While they were talking, Balirasa and her friends happened to overhear the conversation from the door. They were surprised to learn that Riz was actually Fenris, the wolf demon they had faced before. Uluminas considered Fleo a threat to the Demon Lord's army. She then decided to challenge Fleo to a sparring match. She said she was curious about the power of the person who impressed Fenris. In her heart, Uluminas actually wanted to eliminate Fleo and Riz. Fleo casually accepted the challenge. They moved outside the house to fight. Uluminas set the rules. They would keep fighting until one of them surrendered. Uluminas launched the first attack. She jumped into the air and cast the spell, Cat Venom Claw. The spell took the form of snakes moving towards Fleo. However, this attack was just a distraction, as Uluminas also launched an attack from below Fleo. Fleo was shocked when a magic circle suddenly appeared beneath his feet. Fleo used the technique Dispel, which instantly cancelled both of Ulimina's spells. Fleo then cast a spell called Crucifixion, causing 3 magic circles to appear behind Ulimina's, binding her. Ulimina's was unable to move and felt pain. She immediately said that she surrendered. The fight was over. The next day, on a bright morning, Fleo, Rize, Balarasa, and the others gathered in a room. Fleo apologized for hiding Rice's true identity all this time. He also allowed Balarasa and the others to report this to the castle. Riz then provided information that since she made Fleo her master, she was no longer part of the Demon Lord's army. As knights, Balarasa and her friends should indeed report this to the castle. However, she believed there was no need to report someone who had no ill intentions towards them, especially since Riz had been helping them for the past month. While they were still talking, suddenly there was a loud noise from outside the house. They were shocked to see several dragons, which were the elite forces of the Demon Lord, outside. It turned out that Ulimina's had brought the dragon troops. According to Balarasa, these were the forces that had wiped out human troops several times in the past. While everyone was terrified, Fleo was actually amazed because it was his first time seeing dragons. Of course, Ulimina's became very angry seeing how relaxed Fleo seemed. Ulimina's then commanded the dragon she was riding to attack. But before the dragon could launch its attack, Fleo activated the spell, Heavenly Hammer, causing a large magic circle to appear in the sky, releasing lightning strikes directly onto the dragons. One by one, the dragons fell from the sky, shared by the lightning strikes. Ulimina's, who managed to dodge the spell, looked at the dragons who were now powerless, unable to believe what had just happened. The strongest dragons of the Dark Army were defeated in an instant. Some dragons that survived the attack decided to flee, leaving Ulimina's alone. She also ran away from there. Seeing that, Blossom then commented that she should have taken advantage by throwing her hoe at the dragon too, hoping she might get the Dragon Slayer title and level up. Fleo heard that and wanted to give it a try. He then ordered Blossom to throw the hoe in her hand towards the fleeing dragon. She did it, and Fleo activated enchantment magic, Haste, Pierce, and Sanctify. The hoe flew very quickly and accurately pierced the dragon's neck. Blossom was very shocked to see this and quickly checked her status, and indeed, she received the Dragon Slayer title. Balarasa, Bellano, and Bailiri wanted Fleo to do the same for them. However, Fleo refused, seeing that the dragons had already fled far away. Balarasa really wanted to get the title, and she ended up crying. From a distance, they were all being watched by the Demon Lord. He was very impressed because Fleo was just an ordinary adventurer, not a hero, but he possessed extraordinary power. Then he stood up, intending to go directly to where Fleo was.